Tüysüzoğlu. Özge is the trade commissioner for the Turkish office of ProChile, and she will be giving us an overview about the Turkish market for dried fruits. Özge, the screen and the microphone are all yours. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Pedro. I will try to share my screen. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not in full mode. Now it's in full mode. Perfect.
Okay, now it's better. Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Özge Tüysüzoğlu. I am the commercial representative for ProChile in Turkey. First of all, I would like to thank you for your participation in the seminar, and also my thanks to Chilenut for giving me this opportunity in this very important organization. In my presentation today, my aim is to give some general information about Turkey and Turkish dried fruit sector.
Özge? We are not hearing you so well. If you could come closer to the microphone.
Of course. Now, can you hear me better?
Much better.
Okay, I will try to speak loud. Let's start with some general information about Turkey. I'll try to be careful not to make it longer than necessary. When we talk about Turkey, we are talking about a country similar in size to Chile, with a surface area of 780,000 square kilometers, where 97% is in the Asian continent and 3% is in the European continent. Turkey's geographical location makes it an important country in international relations. It borders with Armenia, Azerbaijan, Georgia, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Bulgaria, and Greece by land, and Egypt, Cyprus, Romania, Russia, and Ukraine by sea. It has a population of 85 million. The capital is Ankara, where you can see the red point, while the country's financial and industrial powerhouse is Istanbul, where you can see the star. The half of the city is in European, and the other half is in the Asian continent, and where almost 17 million people live. As I mentioned, the country's population is almost 85 million, but what I would like to point out here that the average age is less than 32, so we are talking about a young working population in Turkey. According to the data from the National Statistical Institute, Turkey's GDP totals to $802 billion in 2020, while the economy grew by 11% in local currency. Why do I do that? Here we have to underline that in the dollar currency, that has possibly been an important economical degree in the country. So in local currency, yes, Turkey had a growth of 11% in 2021. It is the 21st largest economy in terms of GDP in 2021. Here you can see also GDP per capita, which is like $9,000. Now we will continue with inflation and the other percentages. Turkey is experiencing very tough years till 2018, which was mainly reflected in the cost of living and macroeconomical data till then. Turkey ended up 2021 with an inflation of 36.1%, and today it is almost 62%. And yesterday it was announced in Istanbul 80%, the inflation. The main reason for this is the situation is the interest rate that you can see in the right side of the screen, where the government is trying so hard to keep it below the levels that it should have been. But this strategy is coming back to the country as inflation and loss of the local currency. Today, the dollar is rising up to 15 liras, and it has lost like 30% of its value in the past 8 months. And in foreign trade, the deficit is about $30 billion. And Turkey always imports more than that it exports. If we talk about a little bit the Ukraine and Russia situation that is next to us, over recent years, Turkey has become heavily dependent on agricultural products from both Russia and Ukraine. In 2021, Turkey received 65% of all imported wheat from Russia and more than 13% from Ukraine. And also, Russian energy carriers are no less important for Turkey. Russia supplied Turkey with more than 45% of imported gas, 17% of oil, and 40% of gasoline. And Turkey is also a top destination for Russian tourists. In 2021, 4.7 million of Russian tourists came to Turkey. But of course, this year the panorama has changed. So last week, the Turkish government and a number of private businesses even created a special new airline called Southwind, I think, which will transport only Russians to Turkish beach resorts in place of Antalya, a very touristic city in Turkey, and the flights will direct them to Antalya. So because Russian tourists really have an important effect on Turkish tourism sector, so they have to solve this problem somehow, so they're doing their best. Talking about the exports of Turkey, Russia is also a big market for Turkish fruits and vegetables. Last year, Turkey exported a record number, nearly 1.5 million metric tons of fresh fruits and vegetables to Russia. Today, many exporting Turkish companies are currently in a difficult situation due to not being able to receive the payments from their exports to Russia and Ukraine, and the difficulties experienced in the logistic is another important issue. But despite everything, we can say that Turkey is managing very good situation, especially in terms of political area. As you know, it is a NATO member, and on the other hand, cooperates in too many areas with Russia and Ukraine to risk a new crisis in its relation with these two countries. So Turkey has to deal with this situation so strategically, and this is exactly what it is trying to do so far. If we talk about a little bit about dried fruit sector in Turkey, here is a general picture of Turkey's imports from nuts and dried fruits. Walnuts in shell is the most imported one, but as you can see, we import a lot almonds, pistachios, dried grapes, prunes, and other dried fruits also. Imports from Chile in walnuts in shell increased like 65% in the last year, and also dried prunes from Chile increased like 114%. If we look a little bit more detailed about walnuts, as you can see, California, Chile, China, Ukraine, Uzbekistan, Argentina, and Moldova are the principal suppliers for walnuts to Turkey. This is I said before 65%, but because the data from Chile's part and Turkey part changes. These data from the Turkish Statistical Institute, the other ones from TradeMap. So according to Turkish Statistical Institute, Chilean walnuts imports from Chile increased like 42% last year. As you can see, the exports of California decreased. Exports of walnuts from California to Turkey decreased so much because in the previous year, in 2020, Turkey began to import a lot from China and from California. But of course, the quality always, at the end, the quality always wins. Because the imports that the imported companies get from USA, from California, and from China to possibly lower prices, as you know, they have always lower prices, had the consequences. So last year, Turkey came back to Chile because, as Marcela mentioned, the quality is so different and it is more demanded by the customer. The color, the taste, the nutritional qualities are very good. So the imported companies again increased their imports from Chile last year, and this year also they are so interested in walnuts of Chile. And last year we also see an increase in the walnut shell walnuts. Before, Turkey was mostly importing these walnuts from neighbor countries, but last year we saw a huge amount of imports in walnut shells from Chile. If we talk about a little bit about the consumer trends, the size of the dried fruit market in Turkey is really very big. We are talking a market that has a volume of $1.7 billion. It is like 26 billion Turkish liras, the market volume. 65% of this volume is sold unpackaged, and like $50 million of this volume is sold packaged products. In 2021, Turkey has consumed an incredible number of dry fruits. It's like 500,000 tons. It is 26 kilos per person. The most consumed dried fruit by Turkish people is sunflower seeds. And after sunflower seeds, it was walnuts in 2021. Before this year, 2020, after sunflower seeds, the most consumed dry fruit was peanuts. But with the campaigns, with the social media, with everything, walnuts is taking its place. So the interest and the demand for walnuts is getting very much bigger day by day. The consumption habits changes according to the season, as also Marcela said for Indian market. In winter season, in Ramadan months, peanuts, walnuts, almonds, hazelnuts are the most consumed ones. But in summer, sunflower seeds increasing directly. If we look at the amounts and consumes. Local consumption for walnuts is estimated around 150,000 tons because this is a product that is used a lot in industrial sector also. I think many of you know Turkey has very famous with its desserts like Turkish delights or baklavas. In all of these sectors, hazelnuts, walnuts or pistachios are the most consumed used dry fruits. And here is important talk about a little bit the production of Turkey. It is getting bigger day by day. Nowadays, they are talking about a production of 100,000 tons in Turkey. Government is supporting very much the Turkish dry fruit sector, especially the production of walnuts. We will see upcoming years what will happen, but Turkish production is also getting bigger in this area. In raisins, Turkey ranks as leader in the production. It has a production of 300,000 tons. It exports 8% of its production, and this amount is 31% of all world's exports. Local consumption is like 50,000 tons. In hazelnuts, also Turkish production is almost 800 tons, and it is the leading country in terms of production. And Turkey accounts like 70% of world production. Domestic consumption is like 120,000 tons per year. In pistachios, also annual production is around 100,000 tons, and it is leading country in the consumption of this product with more than 100,000 tons. But in terms of imports, Turkey is an importer country today for walnuts, almonds, dates, dried prunes, and dried berries. Before finishing my presentation, I will talk about the characteristics of importer companies and sector. Transparency is very important in Turkey. Turkey has its own characteristical situations. Every country has, but in Turkey, transparency is very important because Turkish importers are highly knowledgeable about the product. They follow the global market very closely. They know prices, volumes, catastrophes that happens in every country, in every region. For this reason, it is so important to be transparent about the quality and prices of the product because they already know everything about the product. Commitments are also so important in every country, and every commercial relation is important. But in Turkey, maybe it is a little bit more because in Turkey, when you have a commitment problem with an important, you don't have difficult you regain the lost confidence, which not only affects relations with this important in question, but also the whole Turkish market, because all of them know each other. So when you have a problem with one of them, you will have some negative side with the other one because they will know that you had a problem with the other one. As you know, Turkish people are very good negotiators. They're a little bit tough about this, but especially the lost value of Turkish lira against dollar exposes importers to a high risk. So nowadays they are tougher negotiators. Competition with other countries is becoming more and more intense in terms of prices, especially with countries with higher production volumes such as USA and China. But we always say that here in walnuts differentiates itself with its quality, and importers always pay for. They are ready for paying for this difference of quality. It is important to maintain a fluid and lasting contact with Turkish importers. It is important after the first personal contact by sending email about how the harvest of the following year is going, or visiting the Turkish market. Virtual meetings are important, and via WhatsApp you can send how the harvest is going. These kind of communications are so appreciated by the imported companies. And market visits are important. You can do it through ProChile or on your own, but it is to achieve a good positioning at company level among importers. It is very important to maintain contact. So this is my presentation. I hope it was useful for you. Thank you for your attention.